holiday and have a check for workers going out after the holidays. Thank you.
The honourable for Kitchener Centre.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'll start by sharing and making clear that the Greens certainly support this GST break for 2 months. It's a $1.6 billion expenditure. We would put forward that there'd be other options of where the government could have started first, for example, by more than doubling the completely inadequate Canada Disability benefit. But on balance, we would support it. What is, however, markedly different in the legislation that is going to be debated tomorrow versus the draft that was provided last week is, of course, the entire $250 vote buying scheme is left out altogether. Now, what was left out in the original scheme, as always was the case, is people with disabilities. My question to the Parliamentary Secretary is, what will it take for this government to recognize that people with disabilities and low-income seniors are those in this country who need some of the most support, that people with disabilities make up 40% of those living in poverty across the country? When they talk about addressing affordability, why is it that people with disabilities are never included?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Well, the member opposite and I have had many conversations, very productive working relationships, so I want to say I respect his point of view. But I just want to say our government, quite the contrary to what the member has just sort of implied, does care very deeply about individuals living with a disability. And I know that the member opposite cares about those individuals in his community as well and has advocated for that. So I think we share that passion and that commitment, that compassion for those individuals who, through no fault of their own, are often living in conditions and not able to necessarily work to the degree that they would like. So the Canada Disability Benefit is something that our government has offered. I agree with the member opposite. This particular piece of legislation and measures don't apply to them, but it doesn't mean that we can't consider additional increases to the amount that they get in future legislation or the federal budget.
For a brief question, the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary, the Government House Leader.
Very quickly, Madam Speaker,